What even was Deadman Mansions? Back in July, 10 RuneScape content creators were brought into a Discord server with Mod Archie and proposed the idea of Deadman Mansions. Initially, the idea was to have 10 of us living together, grinding the game. We would all stream our progress daily, compete in IRL challenges, and promote the game as much as possible. The idea was then proposed to split the mansion into 2 separate teams. 2 mansions, 2 teams. The teams would compete in daily challenges versus each other, in-game and out-of-game. In-game challenges would result in the points for the team that won, and out-of-game challenges would result in IRL forfeits. With this decided, the teams were chosen. The first team consisted of Bodhi, MMORPG RS, Manked Up Mage, Framed, and Soup, and the second team consisted of Foe, Sick Nerd, Rakesy, Torvesta, and Alfie. Each team was then told to decide on a name, with the first team going with Team CBS, or carried by Soup, and the second team going with Team LOL, most likely after the famous Twitch emote. Chris would be the host of the Team CBS mansion, and Skidler and Pure Spam would be the hosts of the Team LOL mansion. Jagex generously offered to fly out the American creators and pay for any sort of transportation that the UK creators needed. With the 2 teams set, the creators all met up in their respective mansions, and the week of Deadman began. The idea was for each team to play and stream as much as they could. However, as mentioned earlier, the idea wasn't just to be as strong as possible for the final hour, it was also to try and beat the other team. The in-game challenges were most likely proposed by the JMods Archie, Stone, and Sween. 12 challenges were given to the teams. Completion of a challenge would earn a team a point, and killing a member of the opposite team would earn the team 2 points. The teams had 4 days at the mansions to train, grind, and complete as many of the challenges as possible. The team with the most points at the end of the week could choose any item from the opposing team's members' banks for the final hour. In real life, challenges would not earn points, but instead would result in forfeits. A cooking challenge, trivia, and riddle challenge were some of the challenges completed by the teams. The cooking and riddle challenge were both won by Team LOL and resulted in Team CBS having to perform motes of Team LOL's choice and also perform the Ice Bucket challenge. The trivia challenge was won by Team CBS, thanks mainly to Bodhi, and resulted in Team LOL having to write the word useless on their forehead for the entirety of their next day's livestream. The week was ultimately won by Team LOL, beating Team CBS by a score of 6-5, with Team LOL then deciding to take the Carol's top from Mank's bank for the final hour. Even though they were enemies throughout the week, the teams decided to team up for the final hour to try and survive as long as possible. The team that lasted the longest in the final hour got to choose a charity to donate $10,000 to. Team LOL had previously decided on the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Team CBS on St. Jude's. After an intense final hour where the 10 members got to play on stage in front of hundreds at RuneFest, Sick Nerd of Team LOL was the winner, making it all the way to the final 10 survivors of the final hour. And that was pretty much it. So I'm going to go over some things that happened during the week, and mainly in the Team CBS house. I obviously knew a bit of what was happening in the Team LOL house, but I wasn't there. I was only part of the Team CBS house, so I'm going to try to go over some things that you may have wondered about. Again, if you guys have made it to this point and I don't answer any of the questions that you may have had in the video, please leave a comment below and I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. And maybe some other members of the team will comment on these videos as well to try and answer any questions. So if you have any questions for people from the other teams that you want to leave below as well, I'll try to send out the video to them and they can answer any questions that they had for those people. I have 10 questions that I thought up of right here. Again, if you guys have other questions that aren't on this list, then please make sure to ask them below and I'll do my best to answer them. But in these 10, I have some general information about Deadman Mansions, some information about the Team CBS house, and then some information about my gameplay during the week. So Jagex, I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, I believe they chose people based off the numbers on YouTube and Twitch. So people who have played demo mode, obviously, people who consistently play it. I believe that every single person who was invited has consistently played demo mode since Season 1, or at least multiple times since Season 1, and has made content on it. Every time demo mode comes out, they make content on it. Now, I know there's a lot of people wondering why a lot of the top demo mode creators weren't invited, and I believe it's because many of them didn't stream outside of demo mode. They didn't make YouTube videos outside of demo mode. The only time that they did stream or whatever was when demo mode came around. I believe that Jagex, and I might be wrong here, it's just my guess, they were looking for people who were consistently making videos, consistently streaming outside of Deadman mode. The teams were chosen by JMods. I believe Archie probably was the one who chose them, and they were pretty much chosen probably based on, skill level. I was at the bottom, Bodhi's at the top of our team, Mank's at the top of our team, Kevin and Framed and MRPG were above me, obviously. So they were picked. I think that they were chosen a bit based on skill level. But it was a mix of both teams, just for fun. We weren't exactly, trying to win the final hour of the whole tournament. It was mainly just to try to provide content for everybody who was watching our streams and stuff like that. So that's why the teams were mixed up. But I think for the most part, the teams were chosen very fairly. The team names were chosen in group DMs we had on Twitter, so I'm assuming that the Team LOL had a separate DM group for them, and then Team CBS had a DM group on Twitter, and we just chose over like an hour. We had some random names that we came up with, and then it's like, we have Soup on our team. Let's do Carried by Soup because that's funny. So we chose Team Carried by Soup. I had nothing against it. I knew I wasn't the strongest guy there, and hey, free promotion in the name from Team CBS, so I'm happy with that. And then Team LOL, obviously, their Twitch careers are based around the emote LOL, JK, they're all great. So they chose Team LOL, and yeah, pretty good team names. The mansions were located in London, in separate parts of London, I believe. I think that if we were to drive to the other team's mansion, it would take like an hour and a half. So they really weren't that close to each other. If we wanted to visit the other team, it would probably be like a 3-4 hour journey there and back, depending on, based on traffic and everything. So the mansions were located in different parts of London. They were not close to each other, unfortunately, but it's okay. They were both great houses. The mansions were very, very nice. Obviously, I wasn't, expecting some huge palace for us. A big house would have actually fit the description too, but mansion sounds a lot better. They were very big houses worth a lot of money, and they were very nice inside. I did not see the Team LOL house, but from what I saw from pictures, it looked like a very, very nice place. Everybody got along very well. I believe in the Team LOL house, they had a lot of fun with pranks and everything and messing with each other, which, obviously I'm assuming they got along. The Team CBS house was a bit less pranky, but every time we did challenges together, every time we were, together, whether it be for the, going out to get food or whatever, we all got along very, very well. There's no anybody fighting at any times. And the times that the Team CBS and Team LOL people did meet up for, I think it was dinner on the first night, everybody got along. It was really, really fun. Literally 10 of the best people you could, 9, I guess, excluding myself. But honestly, it's just, it's really hard for us not to get along unless there's prior beef or something, because we all do the same thing. We're all looking forward to it. Everybody was having a great time, and I think everybody was very pleased how it went, outside of some external things that we couldn't control. But in terms of, content we provided and getting along with other people in our houses, I think it went over perfectly. So the big question, why was the internet so bad at the Team CBS house? Now, the internet wasn't great at the Team LOL house either, but they had, I think, like twice our upload speed, which is a lot better. Obviously, the Team CBS house was running anywhere from 5 to like 13 upload, depending on who was streaming at any given time. And you can imagine for 5 people trying to ideally stream at the same time, that is impossible. All of us were running anywhere from 10 to 20% frame drops throughout our time there, which obviously it sucks, but we did we did what we could. We had to deal with the frame drops. It's fine. The Team LOL house, as I said, was a bit better, but they weren't perfect either. But the Team CBS was pretty rough. I think usually, Chris was there too, who was the 6th guy, and he was trying to upload videos and pictures and clips to people at Jagex and the social media team, but it was very slow because of the upload and stuff. Now, this is not on Jagex whatsoever, guys. I know you guys are going to laugh at Jagex saying, oh, it's their fault for not having great internet. Jagex did everything they could to get the best internet possible. They spent a fortune on getting this huge generator out there to provide at least 100 upload, but the company that installed it, the engineer they sent out, apparently did a very poor job. He did it incorrectly, and then when they called to get another person out there to fix it, they didn't come, which is horrible. So then Jagex had to call another internet company and pay as much as they could to get the best speed possible, and then that speed only increased by like 2 or 3. So really, they got completely screwed. I don't know if any of you guys live in London, and you guys can maybe help me out with this, but London internet apparently is not that great, and we could definitely witness that in that house, unfortunately. So in the future, I believe that if Jagex were to do this again, they would make that the first priority. They tried as hard as they could to get the best internet possible there. Trust me. Chris, who was the host of my house, was stressing that they were doing everything possible, and I 100% believed him. I know that they tried really hard, but I wasn't gonna, be complaining. We can complain now about it, but the main thing for me was, getting to know the other guys and streaming as much as possible, even if it was only 3-4 hours with some frame drops. We did what we could with the internet we had. So unfortunately, that again wasn't on Jagex. It was on the companies that said that they promised great speeds and didn't provide. That's on them, unfortunately. But it's something that we had to deal with. But it's over now, and maybe it'll get better for the next one if they do it again. So here I have some questions based on my week at the demo mode house. The first one is, why did you go for 99 fire making? Oh man, people were ripping on me. I gotta tell you, I got like DMs saying you don't deserve to be at the house when you're skilling on demo mode. Well, here's the thing, guys. For the challenges, okay, our team, the 2 teams were supposed to, not necessarily supposed to, but were provided challenges that I mentioned earlier that they had to go for. One of the challenges was to get 90. The first team to get a 99 would get a point. Now, the fastest 99 in the game is fire making. especially on Deadman mode. You can get it in under 6 hours if you do it efficiently. And in under 6 hours, you can technically do it from 50 to 99 without logging out. My goal was to get a point for my team by going for the first 99. So I rushed 50 fire making, I went to Wintertide, and I decided to rush it out. I made it to 92 fire making there before the internet at our house disconnected. It was disconnecting constantly for about an hour. So at 92 fire making, I ended up disconnecting and logging out. I didn't want to, but I did because of the internet. And obviously when that happens, the high scores refresh. So my skills showed up on the high scores, and it refreshed showing me at 92 fire making, which showed me at second on the leaderboards because there was somebody higher than me for fire making. The other team, I believe it was Foe, said he was scrolling through the high scores in bed, and he saw on the high scores that I was 92 fire making, so he knew that I was at Wintertide. Now, I could have risked it, or I could have played it safe, and as soon as I disconnected, left. But at that point, I think it was like 5 in the morning. I'm 92 fire maker or something. I just want to finish it as soon as possible, so I risked staying there to try to get 99 fire making. At 98 fire making, 98, I am at the bank, which I'm usually only at for 15 seconds every hour. I open my bank, I'm in my tab trying to get more food, and all of a sudden, my bank tab closes. I see a 22-22, and Foe had come behind me with a Dragon Dagger and specced me out from 44 to 0 HP, which made me die, which means I lost 2 points for my team. Guys, it was 7 in the morning. I was so sad. I almost cried. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I was so excited to finally get a point for my team, and then all of a sudden, Foe kills me. I lose 2 points. Kevin's yelling at me from the room, "Castafon, you died." I was like, I'm sorry. So, yeah, I went for 99 because I wanted to get a point for my team. Obviously, I knew I wasn't the strongest PKer, so I tried going for points instead. Unfortunately, my strategy didn't pay off. I don't want to 100% blame it on the internet, but if it wasn't for the disconnects, I would have gotten 50 to 99 in one go without them knowing, and I would have gotten a point, and I would have safely gotten out. But unfortunately, yeah, that's what happened. So, yeah, how did Foe kill you? Foe killed me because he played it very smart. He did his research. He looked at the high scores, saw my stats, saw I was fire making at Wintertide. He got himself 50 fire making, came and rushed me with a Dragon Dagger. And I didn't see him. It was well played on his part. So, yeah. So we had a couple of different sponsors while we were there. We had a Red Bull sponsor, I believe, which was awesome. Red Bull, I think they sent out a couple fridges. We had hundreds of Red Bulls there. Not everybody there drank Red Bull, but over, the time, I think people had quite a few. I usually don't drink energy drinks as well, but I'm like, you know what? Screw it, dude. We got a Red Bull sponsor. I'm going to be drinking some Red Bull. So Red Bull obviously was very nice with that. We also had an Asus sponsor, which was pretty nice for the most part. I'll be brutally honest here. Again, I don't believe this is on Jagex at all, but the laptop that Asus sent out for me did not work. So then a desktop replacement was brought in for me, and that desktop didn't work either. So then I was actually forced to use my friend Kevin Frame's backup laptop as my computer. So I felt a little bit screwed over there. I wasn't going to complain while I was there, but I guess I did feel a bit sad that, I was given the shitty laptop. I guess I believe that in the other house, the laptop didn't work either for them. So, yeah, I mean, thank goodness that Framed had his backup laptop. It was a very, very good laptop. It was something MSI, I believe. Luckily, it saved me because I was using Chris's backup laptop, and I was frame dropping on RuneScape on that laptop. So if it wasn't for that backup laptop from Kevin, it would have been a pretty rough week for me. So that was a bit disappointing. I'll just be honest there. But it didn't, ruin my entire week. Just a bit of a rough start. So I believe that Jagex would love to try this again because as well as the week went, it definitely wasn't perfect. And I think if they don't want to end it on that, they'd love to try it again, try to make it perfect, try to mix it up a little bit, maybe try something else. Obviously have priorities this time with the internet and the equipment and everything. So I talked to many JMods. They'd love to try it again, but it really isn't up to them to decide if it's going to be worth it. Jagex sort of has to look back at the week and see if it was worth doing, if they can do it again, if they can afford to do it again, which I'm sure they can. But I think that the community response to it was pretty positive for the most part. There were obviously the people who are going to be mad that Jagex is even spending money on something like this, which is understandable as well, I guess. But I do think Jagex would love to try it again. I obviously would love to take part again, but that's not up to me. There's obviously a lot of other creators who would deserve to take part in that again. So obviously if another person, if they didn't have room for me one time and another person was invited, that'd be totally fine. I 100% understand that, but obviously I'd love, I mean, who would say no to an opportunity like that, you know, playing RuneScape together with other amazing creators. I mean, I slept like 30 feet from Bodhi, man, and Curtis and Seb and Frame. Like, that is sick, if you ask me. That is absolutely awesome. So yeah, guys, looking back at the entire week is one of my favorite weeks ever of something I've ever done. Just seeing all these people there, and RuneFest was amazing, and playing demo mode was so much fun. I know it was controversial for some people, but if you guys did make it this far, thank you guys all for watching. I tried giving as much information as possible. Again, if you have any questions about anything from those houses that I didn't answer and you'd like to know, I will do my best to respond to it. And that's it, guys. Sorry for the bit of... it was a nice intro, I guess, but this part I just wanted to talk from the heart. I didn't really want to edit a lot of this. So, a bit of a longer video, but thank you guys all for watching. Hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Thank you again so much to Jagex and all the other creators there for making it such an amazing week. I know a lot of effort was put into the week, and I seriously thank them for that. And thank you guys all for tuning in for the videos and the streams. It really made it fun. I mean, the streams that people were doing, we were hitting tens of thousands of viewers on the RuneScape streams for our challenges and stuff. It was absolutely amazing. Really such a fun week. And yeah, hope it happens again. Anyways, guys, see you next time. Bye-bye.